This is the MTPredictor weekly market update for November 10th. And we'll start with the S&P here, the monthly chart, just using some of the tools in the software here. Here's where we're currently trading. And we're going to look back to this prior monthly swing high here. I'm just going to right click and take a decision point. This is a major resistance area for the market. You can see we're in that level. Let's just drop down to the weekly chart here. And obviously there's the monthly level that we're looking at. I'm going to take check the Elliott wave pattern, and you see we've breached the minimum wave 5 target. Here's your typical wave 5 target here, and notice it's right at that 1800 level in the December contract of the S&P or the ES. And we closed the week last week with this blue buyers candle. That tells us that buyers were overcoming sellers last week. And we want to see, since we closed around 1766, that 1800 level is within striking distance. And it's a nice round number right in the typical wave 5 resistance. So yes, we could correct at any point here. We're in the major monthly resistance level, and we could correct at any point here. I just think with those, we'll look at the Dow in a second, but that 1800, that nice round number there, I think they'll go for it. Don't have strength on the STF to the upside, at least at this point, but the volume has been increasing, so we'll see if they can at least tag that 1800 before we get any type of correction, or at least consolidation anyway. Let's check on the Dow here, and this is the weekly chart, and you can see the Dow now has reached the minimum for the first time, the minimum wave 5 target. 16,000 is just above that nice round number. So we think if the ES can hit the 1800, well, we should see that Dow 16,000. Again, a nice round number there. And let's just look at the monthly chart here. And here's the prior swing here on the monthly chart that was similar to the ES. And you can see we're in monthly resistance in the YM or the Dow here as well. Again, there's that 16,000 level we'll look at. Let's take a look at the Nasdaq here. I'm just going to right click and choose the Elliott wave intermediate here. I'm sorry, that's the monthly chart. Let's just look back here. And you can see there's no prior swings back here. This is NQ. Any recent ones. But if we go to the weekly chart here, you'll see we're close to that maximum wave 5 target. Obviously, if the S&P and the Dow move higher into their levels that we talked about, 1800 and 16,000, then we should see the NQ make a move higher as well. And we've already tagged 3,400, a nice round number, and you can see we've got some selling that came in overall last couple of weeks. Sellers overcoming buyers there, but we haven't actually hit the maximum wave 5 target there. So there's still more upside potential if we get the Dow and the ES to move higher. Then the NQ should breach that 3,400 just above there, hitting that maximum wave 5 target. And then the Russell, you can see the 5-wave pattern in the minimum wave 5 resistance. We had a red seller's candle there. Your next major support in terms of the weekly chart will be the decision point here off of the wave 4, which is just below 1,000. And you know, trade-wise, just see if there's enough risk reward to this target here. It's about almost 2.5 times your initial risk on something like that. But like I said, a little strength maybe going to come in on the STF there. We'll see, and that has room to move upside if the Dow and the S&P again get going, make another leg up. We had buyers overcoming sellers there, so we'll see how this shapes up. But certainly it could correct right from here in this minimum wave 5 target back down to that 992 level in terms of the weekly chart anyway. All right, on to Let's look at gold in terms of its weekly chart here. Still looking at, well, let's just take a decision point off of this last swing here. Some support down there. We got a red seller's candle the prior week, kind of a neutral candle here, but you can see maybe the start of the next leg down here into our targets that we looked at last week. Let's look at, let me just see the daily chart here for a second on this. That was the daily short, and you can see that, if I can pull it up here, that that target that we're looking at there, that well, it's 1148. So it's a very nice reward to risk in terms of the daily chart there. And then silver, you know, same basic pattern. We're looking at wave 4 on the weekly chart. Let me go to the weekly chart here. Alright, there was the wave 4. You had sellers overcoming buyers in wave 4. And again, use the tools in the software where you projected wave 5 down. Alright, so we'll see now if this is going to continue, that potential little rollover here down to the target. And it was just at, well, I pulled that a little too low there. Let me get that back to the target, right at twice your initial risk there at 1750. If we can get this thing to roll over down into the 1750, at least that minimum target, we take a decision point off of this, and you'll see a little more support just under that. So in this area, then we may be looking at, you know, we'll see what we get in terms of if we get a nice high volume spike or something to come in the wave 5 support area. Maybe a time to buy, looking for a rally back to, if we take a decision point off of wave 4, this level, just above 25 here. So if we do sell off down here, then we should anticipate to get a rally back to this level, and then we'll have to reevaluate at this level, see if this level holds as resistance. In the case the trend which was down prior may continue down, and then if they can take it out to the upside, then they're telling us they may wipe out this whole 5-wave pattern down, and we'll get a rally up to the top of this wave 1 decision point, which would be above that $35 level, heading into maybe 37.50. So so we got a little bit of a game plan anyway, depending on what we see when we see it, and so we'll go from there. But right now, still, you can be short this. I've got the offsets a little, I think, a little wide here, so I don't think, depending on what the offset you use there, you should still be in this trade. Didn't reach the initial entry. But if you did take a break-even stop, that's fine. Wait, see if this thing sells off down to the target here, and then maybe we'll be looking at some buy signals. So we'll revisit that at that point if it happens. All right, in the bond future here, you know, last a couple weeks we did come into the this wave 4 pattern, and we got a red seller's candle there. We project wave 5 down here in this market, and we'll give ourselves some targets there. So what is that, around 127 or 126.90, we'll call it, is the minimum wave 5 target there. So if this sells off down here, we'll get a little bump higher in the interest rates. But you know, pretty good pattern. It's heading in that direction. We'll see if it can finish off. And then since we're looking at that, we might as well look at the dollar index, because that's heading in the other direction. And this is the weekly chart. On the weekly chart here, here's the last swing into this low. We'll take a decision point off of there, and there's a target there above 85, around 85.60 or so. Would be the next major weekly resistance level. And that was working off of this, the support level that we came into. So we'll have to watch this to see if it does, how far this rally goes. Still have some strength on the STF. It's coming off, this starting to come off the strength band, but it's possible if we still have strength that this could roll over and retest the level. We'll see that. And then on the euro, let's look at the euro US dollar here. Again, this was a 5-wave pattern down here. We anticipated a rally back to this wave 4 DP. Got a sell signal there, got some movement, and then eventually stopped out there, or may have been a break even or 1 hour loss there. We've come now, just erase that stuff. Take a decision point off at this level, and you can see how nice these levels are. But they hit the weekly resistance. So we saw the dollar was in a weekly decision point support and rallied. The euro in a weekly decision point resistance and sold off here. You got some red sellers candles in that level telling us the sellers were overcoming the buyers. And then your next support, your next decision point support. This is not, there's really no pretty patterns in here in terms of Elliott waves. I mean, here you're just looking at a little a little 1 2 3, it looks like, on the weekly chart. So let's just follow that, because remember we saw that we had some strength on the STF on the dollar to the downside. Alright, so this is what we're going to watch. If this support holds in the euro and we get a little more rally out of this, and then maybe that strength on the downside on the STF on the dollar maybe brings that and retests that level. But let's just project wave 5 up here. And we'll watch if we do get a rally off this wave 4 level. We had a neutral candle here, so we don't have buyers overcoming sellers at this point. But anyway, there's some targets here. Your minimum wave 5 target right around 38, 138 there. All right, and that would probably be a level where the dollar would be retesting that's decision point, weekly decision point support. So kind of maybe more. You get a little bit of a pattern here, but it's a little pretty choppy. Some choppy action here in these markets here. And then finally, let's just go over some of our option candidates here and how they're doing. Our first one, Deer. In fact, let me pull this up. Deer here has pulled back into a support level, so we kind of been waiting on this one to pull back into a support before we looked at if you're looking to be a call buyer. You get a high volume spike that's come in on a blue buyer's candle. So if you're going to look to be a buyer, then you've reached a daily support level here. The weekly support level will be a little lower than that if you're going to continue to hold and wait, but it is in support. You got some high volume coming in telling you buyers, maybe professional buying, maybe stepping in here. So that one is started. It starts a seasonal move, usually October 22nd, and it goes through December 19th. So this is down from the October 22nd period when this started, and is down about 3.5%. So you're kind of getting at a little bit of a discount, buying at a support level here, and then hoping that the rally is going to start. You'll have your next daily resistance here up above 85. All right, then let's see, our next candidate that we're following is U.S. Steel. That's the last one that we added. And that started October 30th. And you can see it had the nice rally from October 30th was a little red seller's candle, and that was your earliest buy-in date, if you will, and a nice spike up there. Another fat blue buyer's candle. Now we are in we're in typical wave 5. We got to close above that. If they can trade above that high here, 2741, then oh no, actually that's got to be read the wrong number there. Where's our 2765? Then your next target would be the 2880, 2885 level, this maximum wave 5 target. So that's been a nice mover right out of the gate there. It's up almost 10, well, a little better than 10.5% since October 30th call date there. All right, then Eaton. Let's look at ETN. This had some decision point support there. The STF trend is still up, so you got a bit of a pullback here. This one is up about 3.5% since its start date of October 23rd. But obviously we anticipated that we would get some type of pullback because we came into this resistance level here. So we'll see. We got a nice fat blue buyer's candle there on Friday, and also we'll see if that can make another move up to the next level. Move this out of the way, which is going to be your 73. What is this? 70, right around 73. A nice round number there. We'll call it next resistance. So again, that one's up, and then Genuine Parts, GPC. This one again, nice blue buyer's candle. So these tend to follow the market, the overall market here. But we did come into a decision point resistance. Well, actually, we just short of that, so we got some more room up there before we hit that next resistance level. And so we want to see it take that level out eventually. So we're up about 3% there. And we've got Equifax, EFX. So again, these are just stocks that tend to move during this period. They have the last 10 to 15 years, most of these during this period. They move higher or trend higher during this period. So Equifax in a pullback here, which is going to be a potential wave 4. You got a blue buyer's candle there, so we could project some wave 5 targets up now. So let's do that. All right, so we're looking at 66. That's probably about 66.40 there. And this one started October 22nd as well, and that's up about 4.6%. And so we'll need that rally if we can hold the wave 4 support and then get a rally off of this level. But you can see this made some nice progress there before we get the pullback as the market was selling off during that period, and see if we can, as the Dow and the S&P maybe reach those 1800, 16,000 levels, get a nice rally in here in some of these seasonal movers. And then we looked at Nike and Costco as kind of honorable mentions. Nike's up about 1.8%. Costco's up nicely. That's about 5.3% since October 25th. So those are the ones you can keep an eye on, or if you had some extra money to play with and you wanted to add some to that, you could do that with those. So that's it. We'll leave it here. Monday is it's Veterans Day here in the States. The banks will be closed, but markets will be open, but probably will be a slow day. We'll see. And then the rest of the news gets pushed back to the rest of the week. So, all right, we'll leave it there, and we'll be back. Check on these things next Sunday evening. So take care. Have a great rest of your trading week.